Hello, this is Paul Hoyt. Welcome to today's Office Hours call. Office Hours is a relaxed, informal mentoring program that I do every Monday at noon Pacific time. And this recording will be available online for a few days, and then all recordings are going to be archived in our members area, and a lot more on the members area will follow towards the end of the call today. The reasons we do these is because that I know being a successful entrepreneur can be a fantastic experience, but I also know that it's tough. You need mentoring and coaching and education in order to help avoid making big mistakes and take advantage of the opportunities. And I really want to get you to get to know me, because when you do, you'll know that I've been around the block a few times and that I really do care and I want to help you succeed. The agenda for our office hours calls is pretty much the same. We have an in-depth discussion of a business success principle. I make a few closing remarks with some special offers that you want to hang around for, and an invitation for next week's session. And then we have some open questions and answers. Today's call is on the book, The Art of Profitability, that will help you make more money. This book was written by Adrian Slywotzy in 2003, and it has been a fantastic book for me, and I'm going to share a little bit about it with you today so that you can become acquainted with it. As always, I try to relate the subject of today's call to one or more of the key performance areas. The key performance areas is one of the distinctions that I introduced into the market in my book, The Foundation Factor, that I produced in 2004. And the gist of the key performance areas are that there are a lot of things that you need to be competent in whenever you're running a business. And I define those as the 7 key performance areas that you see on your screen. And I try to relate the subject matter of a call to one or more of those key performance areas. And today, the art of profitability, of creating your fundamental business model, really belongs to 4 out of the 7. I consider the operations and administrations, financial management, and service delivery to be kind of support roles. But when it comes to designing the products and services that you're going to create, how you're going to deliver them to the marketplace, how you're going to position them and brand them, and how you're going to conduct yourself as a leader of your organization, that's all about the art of profitability and creating your fundamental business model. So that involves the 4 primary key performance areas of leadership, marketing, sales, and product development. Our agenda for the call today is that we're going to talk a little bit about the author and the book. We'll talk a little bit about the book itself, and then we're going to talk about 6 different profit strategies that he's identified in the book. 6 out of 23. We'll talk about switchboard profit, pyramid profit, specialist profit, point of sale profit, multi-component profit, and the profit multiplier model. And then we'll tie it all up with some expressions of the bottom line of lessons that you can learn from this book. First, a little bit on the author. Adrian Slywotzy was a Harvard undergraduate graduate, and he also got his MBA from Harvard, and he also got his JD from Harvard. Now, that's fairly rare because, generally speaking, fine institutions like Harvard and Stanford and Yale, you don't necessarily see somebody get all of their degrees from the same institution. You have to be a pretty outstanding fellow to get into Harvard, and you have to be an outstanding fellow to be accepted into their MBA program and into their JD program. So this guy comes with a very, very strong pedigree. He was also voted one of the top 25 consultants in 2000 and 2008. I'm not sure who voted in that, but I'm sure it's a tremendous honor anyway. And he published The Art of Profitability right in between there in 2003, and he's the author of several other books. So I encourage you to look up Adrian Slywotzy and some of his other writings if you find that you've gotten a tremendous value from the program today. The book itself, The Art of Profitability, focuses on business model design elements. And it was one of the first books for me where I really began to understand business models that transcend industry and really transcend the size of business as well. It is all about how companies make money. He defines 23 different profitability strategies and goes into a fair amount of detail on each one of these strategies so that you can understand them and understand whether or not they are applicable to your business, if you might be able to employ one of them as a major or a minor strategy in your business. As much as I really liked the book, what I found was that the book was not very well organized. The 23 strategies were not organized into, say, leadership strategies or marketing strategies or sales strategies. So, of course, I organized them, which is something that I do. I renamed a lot of them because, as you'll see as we go through the presentation today, I think that the names that he's put on these strategies are not really great marketing names. So I've renamed several of them. And then as I really began to study the book, and I have studied the book in a fair amount of detail, I realized that the 23 profitability strategies that he introduced were not all inclusive, that there were a lot more. In fact, I defined 21 more of them. So we're just talking about 6 of his original 23 strategies today, and none of the 21 additional strategies that I identified from my work with literally hundreds of businesses over the last 13 years. But let's talk about the 6 that I think are some of the most important ones that you may gain benefit from immediately. The first one is what he calls switchboard profits, which I say is also known as, and that's what the AKA stands for, also known as connector profits. And that is the money that you can make by connecting consumers and resources and taking a part of the transaction. This is an extremely common way of making money. And let me talk about several examples here. One of the ways that you can do this is a real estate agent. So typically real estate agents are not the buyers and they're not the sellers. They bring value to the buyer and value to the seller by connecting the two of them and facilitating the transaction. And then agents and brokers will typically take 6% of the total transaction, a portion of that going to the listing broker and the listing agent, and a portion of that going to the selling broker and the selling agent. And that percentage varies a bit. You know, when you get into really, really high-end properties, it may not be that much, but typically about 6% is the rule of thumb. Real estate agents make their money by connecting buyers and sellers and by taking a part of the transaction. Manufacturing reps do the same thing. Manufacturing reps sit in the middle of a supply chain and will connect a supplier or somebody that actually makes the product with people who will sell the products. So sometimes whenever you make a product, you sell directly to the end user through your website or through a trade show or a back-of-the-room kind of experience, or at a county fair, or at your own retail store if you happen to have your own retail outlets. But most of the sales of any product company come through wholesalers, and manufacturing reps are the people that connect the manufacturers to the wholesalers and take 10 to 15% of the transaction. Manufacturing reps make their money by connecting the manufacturers to the wholesalers, and they take a fair amount of the transaction in between that. Another one are catalogs. Catalogs don't make any of their own products, but they connect buyers and sellers. Sometimes catalogs work on a consignment basis where they don't even purchase the product from the manufacturer, but rather they just connect buyer and seller. And sometimes they act as a distributor or a wholesaler where they will purchase the product first and then hold it in their own inventory in their own warehouse and then connect the buyer to the manufacturer in that way. The catalogs make their money by taking a percentage of the transaction, and that percentage of the transaction can be anywhere from 10% to 50% of the transaction. eBay provides a way for many people to get connector profits or switchboard profits. eBay allows a platform by which you can connect buyers and sellers, and their specialty, their distinction is the auction format. So you can bid on products and maybe outbid somebody else, and you can accept somebody's bid any time that you want along the way. And they have this famous buy now button as well. So in each one of these 4 examples, real estate agents, manufacturers, reps, catalogs, and eBay, companies are making money by connecting buyers and sellers. In today's economy, we see a tremendous amount of that activity on the internet. So people will have an automated affiliate system whereby they connect their list of people with the products and services from reputable companies and enjoy a part of that transaction through either links on their website, through endorsed emails, through teleseminars and webinars. Essentially, those people who make money through affiliate relationships or referral relationships are doing what Adrian calls switchboard profits and what I call connector profits. So the key here is that you want to be connected to a lot of people. That's why they say build your list, build your referral network, build your list of people who know who you are, so that when you have a fine product or service that you want to introduce, then you have a lot of people to introduce them to. So I think one of the keys here, by the way, is a little bit of discretion. So you can find a lot of people who will want you to sell their products and services, but my recommendation is that you only sell quality products and services that you yourself are familiar with, and ideally you yourself consume or have consumed, to your list, because you want to make sure that you maintain your brand position and your brand purity in the marketplace. I certainly have the opportunity to sell a lot of different products and services to my list, but I choose not to do that very often. You can go to my recommendations page at paulhoyt.com, and you'll see just a couple of things out there that I recommend without reservation that you may want to try out. And yes, if you click on one of those links and sign up for one of those products and purchase one of those things, I occasionally get a small check as an affiliate fee or a referral fee. So I myself am employing some switchboard profits or connector profits in my business, and I certainly encourage you to do the same. One of the next ways of making money is something he calls the pyramid profit. I also call this the product funnel, and that's the way that it's known by most people today. And he defines this as being selling products with varying price points. So you may have some free products that you give away, some products that you sell for $100, some additional products that you sell for $1,000, and maybe even some additional products that you sell for $10,000. The idea is that people become connected with you at the bottom of that pyramid, and you have lots and lots of people who are connected at the bottom of the pyramid. Some of those will choose to go on and purchase a $100 product. Some of those will choose to have an even deeper relationship with you and purchase a $1,000 product. And a few of the people will engage with you at the very top of the pyramid and purchase a $10,000 product. So this is a very common strategy, especially when it comes to internet marketing. And I encourage you to do this as well, as I have done in my business, is have products at several different price points and allow people to engage with you at whichever level they are comfortable, so that they can get the value that you can provide to them at a budget that makes good sense to them. So pyramid profits, or the product funnel, is a technique that I see employed in many types of businesses, but especially in internet businesses. Specialist product is one that I didn't rename at all. A specialist the idea is that you want to become a recognized expert or an authority with a particularly unique capability, hopefully, so that you will become extremely well known and well respected in your field. The result of that is that you should have reduced marketing fees, because people who know about you will want to refer you because you are the expert, and typically you should enjoy higher prices just based on supply and demand. If there's very limited supply, in other words, you're an expert in your field and nobody else can do what you do, then the demand should go up quite a bit for you, and you should be able to enjoy higher prices. Here's some examples of people who I think have very successfully employed the specialist profit model. One of them is Seth Godin. If you don't get Seth's blog every day, you might be in the minority. He has many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people reading his daily blogs. The guy is prolific, and he's brilliant as a marketer. So I encourage you to sign up for Seth's blog. And as a result, he can sell anything that Seth creates is going to sell a tremendous amount of, and he is in extremely high demand. If you want to, I don't think Seth ever advertises for people to be on their radio shows or to be a guest speaker at an event. My guess is that he is bombarded with opportunities to work with people for teleseminars and webinars and to be an attendee or a speaker at an event. He has created a very unique position in the marketplace as, I think, one of America's leading marketing experts, and he enjoys the fruits of that success as well. Here's another example, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton is only one of two available Democratic former presidents of the United States, the other one being Jimmy Carter. And in a few years, Barack Obama will be in that category as well. So Bill Clinton's in tremendous demand because of his expertise and his specialty and his unique perspective on the world from his position of being president of the United States. Whether you agree or disagree with his politics before or today is not really relevant. He is seen as being a specialist and is in extremely high demand. And who knows, maybe one of these days he will be the first gentleman or the first husband of the United States. You never know. I think that's certainly what Hillary wants. Another example is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, set his fame out as being one of the few people to have 6 world championship rings with the Chicago Bulls. Did a fantastic job and is in very high demand for endorsing products and for speeches as well. He has created that position in the marketplace. And the last example on my list is Oprah Winfrey. Oprah has done a tremendous amount of good for herself, establishing a tremendous reputation in the marketplace. You see a trend here. The key is that you need to be a specialist, have something that you have done or something that you see that nobody else has done or nobody else sees, so that you're widely recognized as an expert or an authority in your field. And because of that, you can enjoy reduced marketing fees and higher prices for your products and services. And almost everybody who gets out and does internet marketing is attempting in some way this specialist model or this authority celebrity model so that we can become widely known. I know that's also a part of my business. So far, personally, with my business, I'm 3 for 3. I try to do the connector model by connecting people with great products and services that I don't provide, but enjoy a percentage of that transaction. I do have the pyramid model going with the product funnel with a variety of different products and services at different price points, and I'm working on specialist profit as well. So I'll be known for things that I do that nobody else does and enjoy some reduced marketing and higher prices as a result of that. Another profit model that Adrian develops in his book, The Art of Profitability, is the point of sale profit, which I call the cross-sell profit or the upsell profit. So the gist of this strategy, this profitability strategy, this business model strategy, is that you have a low base or bait product, and then you sell complementary products at the point of sale. This isn't quite bait and switch, because the bait product is something that you really do sell. But when you are at the point of sale, you encourage the customer to buy some additional stuff to raise the price or raise the value that's in the shopping cart and to increase the lifetime value of the customer as well. So here's some examples. One example would be infomercials. If you listen to the infomercials, they set the tone of the infomercial really quickly, where they tell you the value of the product and service, give you a demonstration of that, and typically say, but wait, there's more. And they'll say, buy now today for the cost of shipping and handling alone, you can get twice as much, which, by the way, the cost of shipping and handling usually covers the cost of the product itself. But they get you in that mode of thinking about getting a bargain. And then when they get you on the phone, their number one job is to upsell you to buy some additional stuff. Either, it was like $19.95, but wait, you get 2 of them for $19.95. And when you get on the phone with the telemarketing agents, whose phone number is listed on the infomercial, their job is not just to take your credit card order. Their job is to increase the value of that shopping cart or to increase the size of that order by offering you special one-time deals about getting 4 for the price of 3, or if you buy this, you can also get something else. And they're doing an upsell, which is, by definition, is more of the same product or more volume of the same product, typically at a discount. If you buy now today, you can get 4 for the price of 3, that sort of thing. And a cross-sell is getting you to buy something else typically related to that product at the same time that you are buying that product. So infomercials are notorious, and I'd say that, I think I chose that word correctly. So if you've ever gotten on the phone with somebody when you're buying something via an infomercial, you can see the opportunity to do that. And we do that, by the way, through special discounts and promotions that are offered at point of sale when we're doing internet marketing as well, when you're not specifically talking to an individual over the phone. Another example of point-of-sale profit is automobile options. It's been a while since I purchased a new car, but I've purchased, I guess, maybe 6 or 10 of them in my lifetime. And whenever you do, there's always the extra maintenance, the extra warranty, the rust proofing, the enhanced radio, the warmers in the seats, all kinds of different options that you can put on this car once you've made a decision to purchase the car. And dealerships make a tremendous amount of money through these options that they provide at the point of sale. Sometimes they will put the option on the cars, and you almost have to buy the option to get the car. The conversation goes like, I know that you wanted the base model, but we don't have any of those in stock, and we're not likely to get one for 3 or 4 weeks. So what we'd like to do is put you in this model that has air conditioning and automatic transmission and power seats and power steering and all these other things, and we'll reduce the cost of the options so that you still feel like you get a good deal. But they are upselling and cross-selling at the point of sale to increase their margins on that individual transaction. Another good example is Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo has been widely respected as being a very, very powerful company. And one of their keys to success was, 8 or 10 years ago, they started turning their bank tellers into salespeople. So whenever you go into Wells Fargo, or you call Wells Fargo on the phone, or somehow communicate with Wells Fargo, every single person in that company has a quota for selling you a loan or some other product. So if you go in there to deposit a check, they will ask you, have you considered a home equity loan today? Or have you heard more about our mortgage products? Or if you have a business, have you talked to anybody about a business line of credit for your business today? And they will upsell you and cross-sell you, mostly cross-sell you, at the point of service. So this is becoming a very significant way that companies can increase their profitability and increase their revenues. And this, by the way, in my Beyond Business Survival training program, is business success principle number 4 in the area of customer service, this point of sale profit. So it's one of the many, many tips and techniques that you'll see in my training program that I'll talk to you a little bit about more down the road. Another profit strategy that Adrian Slywotzy introduces in his book is something he calls the multi-component profit, which I call value-based pricing profit. Again, as I mentioned in one of the earliest slides in this presentation, I don't necessarily agree with the words that he has used, that he has chosen to describe the profit strategies. I love his profit strategies, but I think the words are convoluted, and multi-component profit is one of the worst that I've seen. But the idea is very sound. I call it value-based pricing, and it means that you have tiered pricing, which means that you charge larger companies more money than you charge smaller companies, and maybe delivering exactly the same product and service, but because that product and services is of more value to them, is of more benefit to them, you can charge a higher price for them, for that particular product or service. Here's some examples. Chambers of Commerce. It's been my privilege to sit on the board of directors of a couple of different chambers of commerce, and we always had tiered-based pricing. So if you are a company with 5 or fewer employees, your annual membership in that chamber of commerce might be $500. If you had between 5 and 20 employees, it might be $1,000. If you had 20 to 50 employees, it might be $2,000. And if you had more than 50 employees, your membership might be $10,000 or more. So tiered-based pricing is very common at the Chamber of Commerce because we want to attract people who don't have large budgets, but we also want to gain a significant amount of benefit from companies that do have larger budgets and are able to afford a higher price for the products and services that we sell. Now, theoretically, the larger companies from a Chamber of Commerce can send, a lot of members to networking events. They can have positions on boards of directors. They can do all kinds of things. So they enjoy a little bit of additional benefit or additional value, but we charge them additional pricing just because they're big. Here's another way that does that too. Trade organizations will do that. So if you're a member of a trade organization, you'll see exactly the same tiered pricing that we see with chambers of commerce. Very small companies pay a little bit to be a member of the trade association or organization. Larger companies pay more, and very large companies pay a lot to be a member of that trade association or trade organization. And oftentimes we'll see something called user-based pricing. So user-based pricing are a variation on value-based pricing profit or multi-component profit, in that we simply charge more for the service based upon the number of people at your company who are using the service. So that's something that you might entertain for your business as well. If you find yourself dealing with small companies, medium companies, and large companies, you'll definitely want to change your pricing model so that you can enjoy higher prices from the larger companies. I think the last one we're going to talk about today is the profit multiplier model, which I call the asset leverage profit. I kind of like the profit multiplier name, but I also like the asset leverage profit name. And that means that you are using your foundational technology in multiple products, that you're leveraging your investment in research and development, that you're leveraging your investment in intellectual property and taking that and putting it into a lot of different products that you're bringing to market. So you design different products for different markets based upon your fundamental or foundational technology. So here's some examples of that. One of the best examples is Honda. Honda makes engines. Honda is a tremendous company at making engines, and they make engines for motorcycles, for weed eaters and leaf blowers, for lawnmowers, for automobiles, and they make them for even much larger machines too, like airplanes and huge industrial engines. So Honda's core foundational technology is engines, and they use that foundational technology to create a whole bunch of different products for a lot of different markets, and they leverage their investment in research and development in a lot of different ways. Similarly, Sony is known for electronics. Sony has tremendous electronics expertise, and they leverage that expertise in a wide variety of commercial and consumer products for the market. So Sony has developed a great brand name so they can actually leverage the specialist profit because they have such a great reputation in the marketplace, and they can also leverage the profit multiplier or the asset leverage profit too. Another example is reusing content. So myself as an internet marketer, and perhaps yourself as an internet marketer, we create books, we create blog posts, and we leverage the content that we create in a lot of different ways. We can push it on a website, we can put it on Facebook, we can put it on Pinterest, we can put it on LinkedIn, we can make it into a blog post, we can make it into an article, we can collect a whole bunch of these and turn it into a book. So we can multiply our profits, our profit opportunity from the content that we create by packaging that and pricing it in a lot of different ways. So here's the bottom line. The bottom line of Mr. Slywotzy's book is, hang on, there we go. The bottom line is that there are a lot of different ways to make money. There are some ways that you can sell products in a different way. There's product development strategies that you can have to leverage your content like Honda or Sony does. There are ways that you can market and price your products in a lot of different ways to make profit in a lot of different ways and alter your business model. There are leadership strategies as well. I didn't talk about any of these in the presentation today, but he also has amongst his original 23 and mine, I have within my additional 21 a lot of leadership strategies, ways that you can create a company culture and leverage the power of the personnel that you have working for you through great leadership skills in order to multiply the profits of your company. So my advice to you, and the bottom line of this presentation, is pick a few strategies and focus on them so that you can make money in some very, very creative ways. That was our agenda for today. We talked a little bit about the author. We talked a little bit about the book. We talked about switchboard profit, or which I call connector profit. We talked about pyramid profit, that I call product funnel profit. We talked about specialist product. We talked about point of sale profit, which is upsell and cross-sell profit. We talked about multi-component profit, which is tiered-based pricing or value-based pricing. And we talked about the profit multiplier model. So that was the subject of the day, and when we talked a little bit about the bottom line as well. So here's your homework and the exercises I would encourage you to have is think about your business model and understand your current profitability strategy, the strategy that you have for making money, and I encourage you to get the book. Get the book and study those 23 profit strategies that Mr. Slywotzy defined in his book, The Art of Profitability, and maybe add one or two of those additional strategies this year to your specific business so that you can begin to do things just a little bit smarter and just a little bit better to have perhaps another revenue stream and have different multiple streams of income for your business. And then if you need help with that, of course, get yourself a mentor or a coach, and I'd be honored to have the opportunity to talk to you about that. We're going to have open questions and answers in just a minute today, and we're going to have a bit of time available for that. I invite you to have comments and questions on the topic of the day, which is business models and the book, The Art of Profitability, and then we'll open it up and talk about any other issues that you may have. I really would like for you to tell me what your biggest takeaways or ahas were from the presentation, any insights that you might have gained, and tell me what you're going to focus on in the coming weeks and months for your business. And then if you're a member of our Brilliant Business Group, which I encourage you to be, then you can post what you're doing there. We're supporting each other in the Brilliant Business Facebook group, so I really want you to join that group and participate with us. As a business consultant, my approach is to meet you where you are and help you make amazing progress in the next 90 days. I also provide fundamental training that you really need to avoid huge mistakes and to be able to take advantage of your profit-making opportunities. I offer 3 different types of services: my consulting coaching services, my library membership program, and Beyond Business Survival, which is my cornerstone foundational CEO training program. With services, I provide financial modeling, business plans, strategic plans, and mentoring and coaching. I call myself a focus partner as well. So if you think that you might be able to be more productive and have better efficiency at your company by focusing on the things that are really, really going to make you a lot of money, you may need a focus partner, and I find myself to be a pretty darn good focus partner. We have programs starting as low as just a couple of $100. Most of the services I provide are very, very inexpensive because I really love helping the micro business owner. I also have my Paul Hoyt Library Membership Program. It contains all of our office hours recordings, and this is number 33, and dozens of process document templates, spreadsheets, processes, agreements, etc., and some bonus inspirational messages, and I am adding to this every week. The library has 3 different pricing options: $279 for a one-time payment, $79 for an annual payment, or only $9.38 a month. And I am offering a free lifetime membership in the program for anyone who has purchased, spent over $1,000 or more lifetime with me. To honor you and to reward you for that, I really want to keep engaged with you, for the life of your business, because I really value the connection and value the relationship. So what you're going to find here in the next few days is that I'm going to be sending you an email if you're one of those valued customers that's going to have the links for future office hours presentations on it. And if you haven't spent that much already, never fear. You can join the office hours program for only $9.38 a month, and we won't even bill your credit card for another 30 days or so. So you can have another 3 or 4 free before we'll start billing your credit card. And I know it's not a matter of money, because $9.38 is only a couple of visits to Starbucks, and I trust that those of you who are listening to the call will see value in the call and will want to continue this mentoring relationship that we've established. The third product that I have is my Beyond Business Survival Critical Small Business Owner Training. It's really what you need to know when you're a CEO so you can avoid those mistakes that might slow you down or shut you down. I've seen hundreds of people make $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, even greater than that, mistakes in their business. I think it was because they just didn't get the message, that it was important to have great credit policies, or manage your cash flow, or have written agreements, or having a winning mindset as a leader, and all of the other business success principles that I talk about in this program. So if you are a CEO and you didn't get a doctorate degree in entrepreneurship, then I know that you're going to get value from this program. because Beyond Business Survival is a do-it-yourself business growth program where you download the workbooks and the transcripts. You go through the programs and discover ways in which you can grow your revenues, increase profits, and reduce your risk. Prioritize those insights and then take action on those to increase your revenues, your profits, your profitability, your productivity, your efficiency, your effectiveness, and your joy of life by having a business that runs a little bit smoother. So Beyond Business Survival is only $997, and as we mentioned earlier, it includes a lifetime membership in the Paul Hoyt Library. And for a limited time, you can get the introduction and the module on leadership. So that's the first 2 sections of this 8-section program for free if you just send me an email and sign up for it. Because I know that after you listen to the introduction and after you listen to the section on leadership, that you'll see the value in it and you'll want to purchase the rest of the product. I encourage you to join me online. You can connect with me as a personal friend on Facebook with the Paul Hoyt business page like that, or join the Brilliant Business Group. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn, and you can get your energy of the day. Today was the very first day that I did a blog post. I've started a new blog on paulhoyt.com, and we made 1 post today. I expect to post the energy of the day every day going forward as a blog post, and that gives you the opportunity very quickly, by the way, to subscribe to that so that you won't miss it when it comes into Facebook. As it turns out, Facebook doesn't deliver to all of the people who are in my network or your network the messages that you post. But if you subscribe to the energy of the day, and we'll have that feature available very quickly, then you'll make sure to get those in your inbox every single day, and you too can be inspired by the messages that I create. Our next office hours will be on May the 19th. I haven't determined the subject. It might be more of the profit strategies from the Art of Profitability, or some of the 21 additional strategies that I defined after I read the book. But let me know about that. So type it into the chat window, send me an email, give me a call. Let me know if you'd like for me to talk about more of these profitability strategies. Or you can go to paulsurvey.com and fill out some other subjects, because who knows, maybe someday I'll spend 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour talking to you about something that really impacts your business specifically. I encourage you to do your homework, and now we're going to open it up for questions and answers. Again, comments and questions on the subject of the day first, and then any other issues that you would care to talk about. Remember to go to paulsurvey.com and let me know what subjects you would like to see me address in future office hours presentations, and my contact information is there. You're welcome to go to schedulepaul.com and schedule a 15-minute meeting anytime that I have availability on my calendar. I'd love to talk to you one-on-one about and help you address any issues or challenges that you've got in your business, or answer any questions that you may have about business, about this subject or any other ones, and see if there's a way that I can support you in achieving your business goals. So with that, thank you very much for those of you who have to bow out. For the rest of you, I think we're going to have an exciting question and answer period here today. Audra, my lovely and faithful marketing, actually I said marketing assistant, but she's more of my vice president of marketing than anything else. Audra, do we have any questions for today?
Hey, Paul, it's Marcel. Audra,
oh, Marcel.
Step out for a tornado warning, but I'm here with some questions for you.
Well, great.
I hope Audra's doing okay.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that you stepped in, Marcel. Marcel, by the way, is a really incredible social media strategist, and she's got my back, and I really appreciate that, Marcel. Thank you so much.
Sure, happy to be here. So here's a great question. Would you agree that upselling to the next tier of product requires the seller to provide accelerated value? I see cases where buying at the next tier is overpaying for poor incremental value. As an example, is the difference between bronze, silver, and gold automobile service offers where gold is not much more value than silver but costs much more?
I think the best way to do that is to offer always significant additional value with the higher priced product. It can be more in-depth training. It can be, more of the same stuff. It can be, additional, products and services in a cross-sell kind of an environment. But I think generally speaking that you want to offer exceptional value at every point of your product funnel. and really be able to explain that to people too. And I have seen upon occasion, companies that have, we've got the $5,000, but really you should be purchasing our $30,000 product. Make that commitment, because whenever you purchase that higher priced product, you're making a commitment to yourself. And they leverage some sales techniques that I'm not comfortable with. I'm certainly not comfortable with them in my own business, and frankly, I think they're a little bit deceptive and manipulative. So my encouragement, my choice for myself is that the $5,000 product is a significantly different product, adding value to somebody's company in a way that they simply don't get with the $1,000 product. So it's either a significantly different product with significant more value, or it's a lot of the same stuff. So here's an example, by the way, of a cross-sell, upsell technique that I use in my business. You're welcome to engage in a coaching relationship or a focused partner relationship with me at any time for approximately $250 a session. So if you want to purchase 4 sessions or 8 sessions or 13 sessions, you'll see that you'll get a volume purchase discount because you purchased more of the same stuff. So it is a higher price. It's $2,000 or $2,500 for 13 sessions instead of whatever 13 is times 250. So you get a break on that. I throw in a few sessions for free, but it really is a significant more value because you get a lot more sessions and you get those sessions at a lower price. That's what I prefer to do. And in my product funnel, I've got a product like my Small Business Success Package. I normally sell with discounts around $1,000. That's a lot different than my $7,500 business plan program that takes a tremendous amount more of my time and your time to do. So that's a way of upselling a product through a product funnel strategy that's not a volume purchase price discount product. I hope that was helpful. I'll go back to the beginning of that a little bit. There are some times when people feel like they've got you on the hook when you've made a commitment for the $1,000 product, that they really engage in what I consider to be manipulative and deceptive pricing techniques or sales strategies to try to get you to get that $30,000 product. Once you've made the buying decision and once you've given somebody your credit card, you're already committed to that buying process. That's a point at time in which the buyer is vulnerable because the buyer has already let down their shields and let down their guard. And I think the less scrupulous people will try to take advantage of that. I personally choose never to take advantage of that and to honor the the client's decision to do business with me by only offering something that's of significant additional value and I think a fair amount of discount if they choose to purchase a little more of the stuff. So that was a long-winded answer. I hope that was helpful. Next question, Marcel.
That was great. Thank you. Here's another comment. You might want to warn folks about the hazard of tiered pricing with identical products when you sell to the government. Great peril awaits businesses who don't know the rules about most favored pricing for such sales.
that is, I'm not sure who put that in there, but thank you very much. You're absolutely right. With the government, you have to watch out. And ideally, you would get on a GSA pricing schedule of some kind. And when you go through that process of GSA pricing, they'll make sure that you understand that they get most favored pricing in many ways. A lot of people, by the way, get around that by offering products and services to the federal government that they don't offer commercially or to the consumers out there. You can do a lot from a marketing point of view and from a business model point of view and a profitability strategy point of view by having different prices for different products and not selling the same product in the same market. My awareness became finely tuned to that. I think it was in 1975 when I went out to buy a new color TV set. I just got married in 1975, and yes, that was a long time ago. And we went out to buy a color TV set, and what we found when we tried to compare the prices at different department stores, the TVs weren't the same. You couldn't really compare apples to apples because one had one feature, and one was a 20-inch, and one was a 21-inch, and one had remote control, and one didn't, and one had this, and one had that. and it was difficult to compare. And I figured out very quickly that people were selling different products through different channels. And that's not quite the same as the tiered-based pricing, but it's very related to it. They're selling different products at different channels to make it more difficult for me to compare the prices with apples, because they were apples and oranges instead of apples to apples. So yeah, be careful of the government, but I think a lot of people get around that by offering different products and services to the government that they offer to commercial clients and to consumer clients or customers. Great comment. Next, Marcel.
Great, thanks, Paul. So this one's for me. I'm a specialist, and I'm also wanting to create a product that's like the multi-component profit level, like a Chamber of Commerce, like a training program, similar to your library offer. But how do you create, or how do you plan for that or forecast it and really know if that's going to be a profitable thing for you versus a waste of time?
Well, we can talk about more of this, in another conversation, but right off the top of my head, I think you've got a perfect opportunity to offer additional seats. So, for example, if you're offering a webinar or an information product, to a company, you might sell a product at $1,000 per seat, but wait, if you want to purchase 3 or 4 seats so that different people at your company can go through the product, maybe you discount that you can get 2 for $1,800 or 3 for $2,500 or 4 for $2,200, and essentially you're increasing the value of your shopping cart. You're getting more value to your customer, and it's a form of tiered-based pricing because they're getting more value from it, and you're actually providing a greater product or services because you're offering them multiple seats with that. Or you can create a different product as well. So your lowest product might be $1,000 that comes with 1 or 2 hours of one-on-one coaching and consulting. But when you talk to larger companies, if you're a company with $1 million in revenues or more, what you really need is our gold product or our platinum product or our diamond product. And that not only includes the fundamental product, but it includes so many group coaching sessions and so many one-on-one sessions, and maybe even, I'll come to your site and we'll meet one-on-one face-to-face for a day. There are a lot of different options to create products which are essentially the same product, but a variation on that product for your larger customers. Hope that was helpful, Marcel. Now I can see Marcel.
That was helpful. I have more ideas than.
I'm eager to see how that plays into our customer relationship too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, next question, Marcel.
Okay, so how can you better position yourself as a specialist?
Wow, that is something that 5 or 6 years ago, becoming a recognized authority, and I call it the celebrity expert industry on the internet, or the authority industry on the internet. 5 or 6 years ago was not that difficult to do because not very many people were doing it. And today it is really challenging to do. Today you really have to go overboard to establish yourself as an expert in the market. So here are some of the strategies that I have employed. Number one is I've written books. So writing books is one of the fundamental things that we do to establish ourselves as an authority or an expert. It at least demonstrates the ability that we have, to take on a very large project and complete that very large project. If you're not in a position to write a book all on your own, then contributing, a chapter in somebody else's collaborative work may be a strategy that works for you. I've chosen not to do that one, but if you're having a hard time writing your own book, then you can become a contributing author in a collaborative work, and that can give you a little bit of credibility. Information products do the same thing. So as you create information products that you can sell, you can become known for that, and you can have some credibility. In my own business, I choose to have a Facebook page. I choose to post to that regularly. I choose to have daily posts. I choose to do these office hours presentations every Monday. And I choose to have a library that has dozens of documents with agreements and templates and processes that are available to help establish myself as a recognized expert in the area of small business consulting. And those are strategies that I've seen other people employ as well. So find yourself a hook, something that separates you from everybody else, a distinction, as is called in the industry, something that you do that nobody else does, or something that you do different from everybody else, or something that you do better than everybody else, and find yourself a distinction and create an innovation in the marketplace and go for it, and then build your reputation through increasing contributions and communication with your database in a lot of different ways, through emails, through Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, all kinds of social media platforms out there. That's certainly what I have chosen to do in order to establish myself as an expert in the area of small business consulting. And also, by the way, I'm doing a double challenge here, because I'm also employing that very same strategy when it comes to being an expert on personal growth, giving speeches, doing teleseminars, writing books, and holding forth on that other subject area as well. So my best advice for you is just find some experts out there and follow them, and there are lots of them out there. Evan Pagan is one of the most widely respected experts when it comes to internet marketing, and there are dozens of others out there that you can follow. So find somebody that you think really presents themselves as an expert and do what they do. Just follow their model. Next question, Marcel.
In today's marketplace, don't you need to use all of these strategies to get across the chasm we talked about in an earlier session?
I don't. Yes and no. So I think it's important for you to have a lot of these strategies. One of the biggest takeaways that I hope that you get from this is that as a company, you can't employ all 23 of Adrian Slywotzy's strategies, or all 21 of the ones that I added to that in your particular business. You have to pick like 2 or 3 of them and do them extremely well. As I find, most entrepreneurs are very creative people, and as very creative people, focus oftentimes becomes a challenge for those entrepreneurs. That's one of the roles that I play as business consultant or coach, is what I call the focus partner role, which is to help you decide which ones of these strategies are most profitable for you, that will be the easiest to implement, the most reliable to implement, and help you focus on those to employ them in your business. So my encouragement is to start with 2 or 3 of them for your business, and once you have been successful with those 2 or 3, then you might employ number 4 or number 5. But it's not going to be possible for you to employ all 44 of them to start out with. It's just not going to work. You don't have enough time, you don't have enough marketing strategy, and you'll confuse your marketplace if you try to employ all 44 of these strategies at once, or even 5 or 10 of these strategies at once. So my encouragement is for you to understand what the strategies are, work with a business consultant or coach to help decide which ones are right for your business, and then focus on implementing them successfully to increase your revenues and profits at your business. Next question, Marcel.
Great, thank you. That is the last one I have here. Any other questions, go ahead and drop them in the question box, please.
And it is 12:57, just a few minutes before the top of the hour, so I'll talk for just a minute in case any other questions come through. So with this particular program, I want to see whether or not you want me to do more of this. Like I said, we talked about 6 of the profitability strategies today. There are 38 more that we could be talking about in future office hours presentations. So you're welcome to type in whether or not you'd like to see me do another session on this book, The Art of Profitability, or get into the 21 things that I defined in my particular book, or my particular addition to these as well. So I'd love to do that, because I enjoy talking about business models and ways that people can make money. That's one of the big benefits, by the way, of being a business consultant, and big benefit of you working with a business consultant is when you've seen hundreds of businesses and trained thousands more, you've seen a lot of different ways in which people make money. And one of the key things that we do is bring an idea that worked really well for company A to company B, and company B might have never thought of that because they had no connection to company A. So that's one of the reasons why it's a pretty good idea to have a well-established and a well-experienced mentor on your particular team. To find out about the rest of these, by the way, if you want to find out the rest of the things in the Art of Profitability, just buy the book. I mean, it's only like $10 on Amazon to get the Kindle version. And I always recommend that. Whenever I do quote a book report or a review or an analysis of a book, I always recommend if you got value from that, go buy the book. Honor the person who created that, because having written about 7 books, I know what effort goes into creating a book and bringing it to market. So I always encourage you to honor the author, to buy that book. And if you're interested in knowing more about the profit strategies that I created in addition to the ones that are in the book, give me a call. I do that. I regularly employ knowledge of that as a part of my business consulting and coaching agreements. Any other questions, Marcel, or shall we call it a day?
Let's call it a day. Great job today. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. So thank you for attending. We'll join again next week, same time, actually it's not the same bat channel. Look for an invitation with a different webinar address in your email. Sign up for the office hours presentation and sign up for the Paul Hoyt Library. I'd love to see you as a part of my community for the rest of our business lives. Until we meet again, this is Paul Hoyt wishing you a most marvelous and prosperous day. Thanks. Bye-bye.